Hey guys, this week's Torah portion is dedicated to the complete recovery of Masha Bas Batsheva. In this week's Torah portion, Pasha Vayera, we have the famous story of God commanding Abraham, bring your son Isaac as a sacrifice. And while we know it was just a test in the end, reading this in 2021, it's like, what? How did Abraham contemplate doing this? This would have been the perfect time for him to tell God, no. What you're telling me to do is not rational, it's hypocritical of everything you told me to do till now. God had told Abraham that Isaac was going to be the future of all generations, of the Jewish nation. He had told him that human life was sacred. And now he's commanding him to bring Isaac as a sacrifice, contradicting everything that Abraham had been teaching and believed up until then. And Abraham didn't flinch, he just went along with it. How? God was not just testing Abraham. He was teaching him a lesson, maybe the most valuable that he was taught. And that is, belief in God is not just when it feels good or when it makes sense or when you're okay with it. Belief and trust in God is absolute and constant, even when you don't understand. If Abraham had told God, you know what, this one, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not listening to this one. It doesn't make sense to me. Then in essence, Abraham wasn't worshiping God. He was worshiping his own mind, his own intellect, his own rational thinking. And then you might say, so what? The human mind is very powerful. Societies are perfectly capable of coming up with the laws of morality. What's just and unjust? What's moral and immoral? When is it murder? When is it compassionate euthanasia? We can figure that out. What's so bad? But it's because the human mind is so powerful and rational thought is so powerful, that's what makes it fallible. That's what gives us the capability and tendency to rationalize anything and everything. And this is not an abstract idea. History is full of the results of worshiping of the human mind and intellect. Discrimination, pain, torture, murder, genocide, all rationalized, not by barbarians, but by the most modern and civilized cultures of the time. That this was for the good of society, this was for the good of the world. God was telling Abraham that human rationale and mind and thinking is a very important tool, but it's a tool. Do not worship it, because it is very much fallible. We live in a time now when human mind, again, is worshipped, where the thoughts and ideas of what we can come up with, we can figure out. And reading the story, it's very important to learn. Abraham didn't flinch. He knew that it's not just when it makes sense or it feels good. Belief in God is constant. Because in society, today's immorality could be tomorrow's morality and vice versa. Shabbat Shalom.